on with the project a bit further. We are sort of figuring out what we're going to do with the rear axle in terms of making it wider. We've pushed it back now, and I've got a couple of these in the scrap bin, which are Can-Am hubs that we're not going to use on the race car, but we can use on this, which will be fine. And seeing as we're running Can-Am wheels that are also out of the scrap bin, or out of the pile of stuff that we're not going to use, then that makes sense. It means we can mount a wheel bearing, a Can-Am one again, obviously, and just mount a wheel bearing on there, put it in the axle tube that we're going to make up, and then use some scrap Can-Am shafts, which we've got plenty of, that have been broken, and cut that down to suit.
Why have you got so many broken Can-Am shafts?
Yeah, because they break themselves. I figured out that the distance I need from the centre line of the gearbox to the inside of the wheel was 575 mil. So from that I've figured out the length of the shaft that I need to add on to the existing shaft. So this is the Can-Am shaft that I've cut down. It's got the splined end which will go into the Can-Am hub with the Can-Am wheel. And then the plan is we're going to put a sleeve onto there and then a sleeve onto there, and we can weld all of that together, plug weld it, and that'll give us our shaft length that's correct. So we just got to do that. The next bit we want to do on the rear end, once the axle's done and the shafts are the right length and everything, so while we're working on that, we need to mount this rear panel, which is originally what the seat mounted to. So we've got some scrap, more scrap out of scrap bin, which is unequal length box section, that we're going to weld about there, drill 2 holes in it, and then we can use these existing bolts here, bolt holes here, to bolt this panel straight down and onto there like that. So we're just going to do that.
That's not going to be the seat though, is it?
That's not the seat, no, that's just free space. So next up then is a seat, obviously. So again, from the parts bin of shit that we have lying around, we found this seat. We wanted like a low back seat that kind of fitted with this rather than a big race seat like this. So the plan is, this is a steel seat and we've pulled all the foam and stuff off of it. And what we're going to do is, it's quite large, so we're going to cut it down to about here, which will make it a low back seat. And then we're also going to shorten it because it's quite long, so when it's on there, if it was as it is now, we just wouldn't be able to get in it or out of it. So I'm going to shorten it and make it a bit smaller and then get it mounted. Also, I've got, from our random pile of stuff, mounts for the seat. So we've got these like side mount pieces that I found, but we haven't got a full set. So we need to make up one more of these and then we can get it mounted.
And that'll go where, roughly?
On there. You can cut the seat up.
I can cut the seat up, okay.
You cut the seat up and I'll make the other one of them things to mount that. So I made up my 2 like risers for this panel, which will go there like that. They'll get welded in, and then I'll be able to drop this panel straight on top of there, bolt it down.
Yeah, if I cut that off, cut the same distance off the top,
Yeah.
and then that'll make, should do.
Yeah, to cut those two tubes off, these two,
The lower ones, and then cut the same distance off the top tubes.
and then, yeah, and then you'll be able to get it in there, won't you, to know how much to take off there, because it won't be quite the same distance, because it's at an angle, it'll be able to slightly less, won't it? But if you whip them off, then you can do that, and then we can sort of shape these to suit, and stitch it all back in. Cool.
So a few people on the socials have been asking a little bit about why we're building a lawnmower and what's all this Mudbillys about.
Two-part question, two-part answer. Why we're building a lawnmower? Because we're stupid, and it was a good idea at the time, and marketplace is always good for finding dumb ideas. Mudbillys is actually the reason why we're doing it. So Mudbillys is like an off-road event festival, which is the 7th and 8th of September, so in a few months' time. And yeah, it's just a gathering of sort of like-minded crazy people that want to do cool off-road stuff, and you can enter with bikes, quads, side-by-sides, regular 4x4s and racers and stuff. And then they also do a miscellaneous class, which is basically bring anything crazy that you want to bring, whether it's a lawnmower, whether it's a tractor or a trike or some other dumb project or cool project. So that's why we were building it. We've been with the side-by-sides a couple of times as well, so we thought it'd be nice to take something else as well. And yeah, a dumb idea, so I think that'll be a cool one. You can join us, you can get the tickets, actually thinking about it, on the Hillbilly Nation's Instagram. There's a link on their bio, and we'll stick it in the comments of this as well, where you can go and get your tickets to spectating. It's family friendly, you can bring kids, you can bring pets, you can bring cider, and you can basically have a good time. Okay, so next bit out of the, well, it's not really scrap because it's new, it's just been on the shelf forever and a day, as you can see, but there's an air tank from a lorry that we'd got on the shelf that's never going to get used now, so it makes sense to use it. And we're going to use that for the fuel tank. So we're going to mount the fuel tank in the back of the vehicle, somewhere here like that, and then we'll pick up off these bits and bobs to fill it and take the fuel out and stuff like that. But we'll probably end up with some straps over it to mount it to this panel below now. On with the fuel tank and mounting that, or the to-be fuel tank. I was originally thinking straps over it, but that's just a lot of work, unnecessary work. So some scrapyard angle iron, or scrap bin angle iron, and then I'm literally going to weld it on there and then drill through, and the same the other side, and I'll bolt the tank down into the panel.
It's gonna be really hot. I've already got holes in the fronts of my trousers.
Stone cold.
That's not. That's not.
Don't touch them bits that you want, can stick there.
If I spontaneously combust, it's your fault. It's way better.
That's why.
Yeah.
Like just when you put your
Even if I sit right at the back, I think it needs to tilt back slightly.
You can tilt back as much as you want. Like that.
If you tilt it back like that,
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's still loads of gap
yeah,
between the
because you're very like upright otherwise. You're still mowing your lawn when you. Oh, literally where I've just done the weld.
Well, the top, we said the top was going to be there, didn't we? Because we were going to go like that.
Yeah.
So you can lift it up a bit to say there, something like that. No, we said there, didn't we? We said we were going to cut it off there. Remember?
Yeah.
It'd be like that there.
Right. It's on. Just don't lean back.
You've left some sharp bits there. Right?
Yeah, I know. It's going to cut it off anyway.
So yeah, so we've got the seat in and still finalising its shape, but Harry's reduced it here, which means you can get in and out, and it's sort of under your bum nicely rather than coming right behind your knees. We've raked it back a few inches as well to get a nice position, and then Harry's lowered it as well, so it's quite nice. And then we were just figuring out what we're going to do with these sort of shoulder fins that are from the original shape of the seat, which normally are up here, and we're going to try and keep them. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Just got to finish it off. I'll sit in it and then you bunch of pussies. That'd be nice there.
So what's next?
Steering. I'll get the seat mounted and then steering. So we're back in the workshop then on with the lawn mower project. And today we're going to take a look at putting the engine in the chassis, getting that mounted, and then have a look at the steering as well and figure out what we're going to do with the steering column and stuff.